Hey everybody, welcome back. If you're new here, hi, I'm Mercury. So today it is chili day, and I don't mean that it's cold out, but it is cold out, but that's not what I'm referring to. Every winter I make a big batch of chili and I put it in the freezer and it like lasts me for the winter. And today's the day. Today is the day to make the big vat of chili. Every time I make it a little bit different. The premise of the recipe that I do is based on how my dad taught me to make chili many years ago. And when I eat it, before I changed my diet, I used to eat it on top of a bed of rice. Now I'll put it on top of a bed of lentils. But for now, we gotta go get this chili cooking. We gotta go make this. Warms the heart, tastes delicious, all good things. Let's go to the kitchen. So what I need for my chili, we're gonna do turkey. You can leave turkey out and make it vegetarian, or you could do ground beef, or whatever type of meat you want or not want, you could do, but I'm doing ground turkey. Then you need some like whole tomatoes. You need these big, the big size cans, the 28-ounce cans. Kidney beans. These are like the little catalini beans. I was gonna use butter beans, but the supermarket didn't have any butter beans. So these are the beans I got, the catalinis. We got black beans and garbanzo beans, also known as chickpeas. Got a couple of onions. I'm going to chop these up. I have garlic. I'm doing this the easy way, and I'm using like the pre-minced garlic. If you have fresh garlic, by all means do that. And we got to season it. So we got pepper, we got some salt, tomato paste, as if it's not tomatoey enough with that. Got a little hot sauce, and I got this chili spice that I like. So we're going to use all these things. There's other times that I've used different spices, but this is the spice that I'm going with this time. And let's get cooking. The other thing is I use one of these big old pots. This is the type of pot that I use to cook it in. And you could use one bigger, but you can't get away with anything smaller than this. With the two large cans of the tomatoes, you kind of need something this big. And we also need a little olive oil. I forgot, because we need to brown the turkey and the onions and the garlic. So you need a little bit of olive oil. So because this recipe is sort of, as I would call slapdash, like I'm just throwing it together, I don't have measurements. So I'm gonna try to show you to gauge the amount I'm putting in for different things, but this is just coming out of my head. And like I said, it changes each time I make it. And that's the great thing about this. It's adaptable. If you don't like it too spicy, use less. If you like it to have a more smoky flavor, put in some cumin. Like, you know, there's all these ways of adapting it and making it your own. So this is just how I'm doing it. First up, I gotta chop up these onions, get these prepped, and then we'll get the turkey browning. So for me, I cut the ends off the onions. And then I find it easy to peel them from there, because usually some bit of onion comes off in the cutting of the ends, and it gives me something to grab onto. And then look at that, it's just easy peasy. There we go. Let me get rid of this. I'll do it to the other onion too. Now we got to chop these up. So I'll go half. And then do like a third and a third. And then from here, we can do like these little slices. First up, we got to brown the turkey. So to do that, olive oil. It's a couple of tablespoons in there. See? Turn the heat on, let it warm up a moment. Then we're gonna brown that turkey. And I'm gonna use these tongs to sort of break the turkey up. I'm not too worried about seasoning the turkey, because there's gonna be so much other flavors in the mix with it that it doesn't necessarily need to be in the turkey meat. In other types of situations, definitely season your meat. Definitely want to get at least salt and pepper on there. But in this situation, because the sort of like broth around it is going to be flavorful, it's too much of a double whammy for what I'm going for right now. In goes the turkey. We're going to bust it up a little bit. I don't don't have one of those like meat smusher thingies, so that the tongs held together work for me. So we are cooking it all the way through until there's no more pink. Now that we cooked out all the pink and the turkey is pretty much fully cooked, we're gonna add in the onions and the garlic. Onions in. And then because I'm using the pre-minced garlic, we'll use, I don't know, like two teaspoon scoops. That's what we'll call it. And we're gonna cook this down until the onions start to get soft and a little bit translucent. Now that these onions have gotten a bit soft, I'm gonna put in the tomato paste. And the reason the tomato paste has to go in at this point is because you have to really cook this down. Otherwise it'll be like a little metallic or a tinny kind of a flavor to it. And you really need to cook down tomato paste to really get like a good rich tomatoey flavor. If you don't, it has like weird tinny type of flavor to it. So let's squish some in. So this blob is the tomato paste that I squished in there. It's about 2 tablespoons roughly. And I'm going to mix this around to make sure that it's going to cook down and get rid of that sort of metallic-y kind of flavor that it can sometimes get. And you just let that cook for just a couple of minutes. Now that the tomato paste is cooked down a little bit, time for the actual tomatoes. These just go straight in. No muss, no fuss. You can use the like diced tomatoes or the crushed tomatoes. That's fine too. These are just what I happen to have on hand. Either one will work. But if you're using whole tomatoes like me, you're going to have to kind of break up these tomatoes. So they come out like this when you use the whole tomatoes. And when they heat up, they're going to soften. And then I just use this and I kind of poke them and mush them up. And that's how I break them down. Now that the tomatoes are in and I started to break them down a little, and I'll continue to break them down as it cooks a little bit more, now it's time to add the beans in. So first up, chickpeas or garbanzo beans. And these I had rinsed already and I just kind of put them in the can for storage, but these are like I drain them and I rinse them. These are black beans. Then these ones are little white beans like catalini beans. More in there. Yep, there we go. And then the last ones, but my favorite to put in here, are kidney beans or like the red beans. Okay. And now just like before, let's mix them up. Mixing in the beans, mixing in the beans. So now that the beans are in, it's gonna cook down a little bit, but there's something very important we didn't put in yet. All the seasoning. Right now, I'm sure this is pretty bland, base tomatoey. We need to give it some flavor. So, salt. This is all gonna be to taste. This is gonna be different for your own personal preferences, but it's adaptable, whatever you like. So we start with some salt. Salt and pepper are really going to be your bare minimum. And for me, I like a little bit of hot sauce. I'm going to go sprinkle, sprinkle, sprinkle. And the thing that's really important on all of this, especially if you like spicy or hot in your chili, you can always add more. You cannot take away. So you want to underspice and taste and adjust. You don't want to overspice because unless you're adding another can of tomatoes in, you can't undo it. So Always can add, you cannot take away. That's the big takeaway in this. Next, I'm going to use the spice blend. And this has a lot of different stuff in it. So this is ancho chili peppers, cumin, garlic, cilantro, onion, paprika, cayenne pepper, lemon peel, oregano, black pepper, cocoa powder, citric acid, turmeric, cinnamon, coriander, ginger, smoke flavorings, fenugreek, I'm not sure what that is, cloves, fennel, nutmeg, white pepper, anise seed, jalapeno, star anise, and cardamom. A lot of flavors going on in this. I love this spice blend. So we're gonna go sprinkle, 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 sprinkle. But again, could always add, you can't take away, so I don't want to overdo things at first. So let's mix it up and see where we're at. So I've been adjusting. I added some more salt. I definitely added more of my chili spice blend, but I still feel like it needs something. I wanted to have a little bit more of a smoky flavor. So I grabbed the cumin that I have, and I'm gonna add a little bit of cumin to give it a little bit of a smokiness to it. Yeah. Not a lot, just a bit, just a bit. So now I got all the spices in there. To me, it's like where I want it to be with my heat and spice level. So now I'm just gonna let it cook down just a little tiny bit. I want the tomato chunks that are still there, like these, I want these to be soft enough that I can break them apart. And yeah, it'll just concentrate that flavor just a bit more. But we are almost there. Yep, that's looking mighty good. Got a few more tomatoes to break down, and we're almost there. So the chili's done. It's all cooked. It's to my liking. It's got the right consistency, the right amount of beans, the right amount of turkey. It's all the good stuff is there. So, moment of truth. We gotta give it a taste, right? So I have a little bit in a little mug here. Now it's not over lentils the way I would have a big bowl of it, because this is not a mealtime for me, just a taste. So let's see. Got a good spoonful here. I got a little turkey, a little bean, a little everything in there. Let's give it a try. Ooh, it's still very hot. It's still steaming. I don't know if you could see that. Hey, look at all that steam. Still very, very hot. Just like Dad used to make it. It's really good. It's really, really good. And you know, like I said, it's hodgepodge. It's whatever you have on hand. It's whatever you want to put in it. You don't have Catalini beans, you have navy beans, use them. You don't want turkey, you want it vegetarian, leave it out. You want it to be beef or pork, go for it. Whatever your preference is, total flexibility. And that's what makes it great. You want more veggies? Add some carrots, add some celery. But like just the base of this, it's so good and so versatile. So, You know those things that like, when you taste them, they bring back a core memory? Like, this tastes like childhood to me. This is my definition of comfort food, and I'm so happy that I get to share it with you. So if you make this, let me know how it goes for you. I'd love to hear if you like it as much as I do. And I guess with that, I am done for the day. I'll see you all real soon. And until then, stay inspired. Bye, everyone. Take care.